Good afternoon and welcome everyone. இணையம் வழியாக இந்த நிதி மேலாண்மை பயிற்சி Leading You to Financial Freedom Sessionக்கு கூறியிருக்கும் அனைவருக்கும் டாக்ஸ் சார்பாக அன்பான வணக்கங்கள். இந்த இன்ஃபர்மேஷனல் செஷனை வழங்கும் சந்துரு சுந்தரேசன் மற்றும் ஸ்ரீனிவாஸ் மாரம்க்கு மிகுந்த நன்றிகள். I would like to also thank the audience who have joined us on this Sunday afternoon to enlighten themselves about this important topic, financial freedom. And I'm sure at the end of the session, you will have a lot of insights regarding this topic. இன்னைக்கு செஷன்ல 6 டாபிக்ஸை பத்தி பேச போறாங்க. டாபிக்ஸ் எல்லாத்தையும் பேசி முடிச்ச அப்புறம் நீங்க உங்க ஹேண்டை ரேஸ் பண்ணி கொஸ்டின்ஸ் கேட்கலாம். யார் ஹேண்ட் ரேஸ் பண்ணிருக்காங்களோ அவங்கள நாங்க அன்மியூட் பண்ணுவோம் and you can ask the question. அப்படி இல்லைன்னா you can also type your question in the chat. Now it is time to introduce the speakers for this afternoon. Our first speaker, Chandru, is a proud sponsor of Tamil Association of Colorado. He was a webmaster of Tamil Association of Colorado between 2012 and 2013. Chandru started the financial service business in 2018, helping families build wealth, secure their financial nest egg, and prepare for their retirement. He has also helped several families with his expertise and is very proud of the services he provides. Chandru has 14-year-old twin girls and his wife is an entrepreneur. Please welcome Chandru with a virtual round of applause.
Thank you, Abram.
Our next speaker for this afternoon, Srinivas Maram, is in the financial services business since 2014. He came to this country for higher education, masters in computer science, and worked in IT for 25 years. Before starting in the financial services industry. Worked in several startups and also started his own software services company and delivered solutions successfully. Srinivas is the CEO or MD in the brokerage he works at and has a huge team of financial service professionals. He's a very good investor, indicates several real estate development projects in the DFW area. Please welcome Srinivas Maram with a big round of applause. Now it's time to hand it over to our president, Chitra Natarajan. அவங்க இப்ப பேசுவாங்க. Over to you, Chitra.
Thank you, Abhirami. நன்றி. இந்த நிகழ்ச்சியை தொகுத்து வழங்குவதற்கு மிகவும் நன்றி. சந்திர சுந்தரேஷன் அண்ட் ஸ்ரீனிவாசன் மாறன் உங்கள் 2 பேர்த்தையும் இந்த நிகழ்ச்சிக்காக வரவேற்கிறேன். சந்திரு, தேங்க்யூ ஸோ மச் ஃபார் அக்செப்டிங் அவர் ரெக்வெஸ்ட் அண்ட் இந்த நிகழ்ச்சி எங்கள் கொலராடோ தமிழ் கம்யூனிட்டி மக்களுக்காக வழங்குறதுக்கு ரொம்ப நன்றி. அதே மாதிரி இந்த நிகழ்ச்சிகளுக்கு இந்த சண்டே மத்தியானம் உங்களோட டைமை ஒதுக்கி இந்த நிகழ்ச்சியை பார்க்கறதுக்காக ஜாயின் பண்ணியிருக்கிற அனைவரையும் உங்களை வரவேற்கிறேன் இந்த நிகழ்ச்சிக்காக. உங்களுக்கு கண்டிப்பாக இது யூஸ்ஃபுல்லாக இருக்கும்னு நினைக்கிறேன். சந்துரு அபிராமி சொன்ன மாதிரி அவர் ஒரு 6 டாபிக் ப்ரீஃபாக கவர் பண்ணுறதுக்கு இருக்காரு. ஸோ கண்டிப்பாக இந்த செஷன் உங்களுக்கு எல்லாத்துக்குமே யூஸ்ஃபுல்லாக இருக்கும்னு நினைக்கிறேன். ஸோ அந்த எண்ட் ஆஃப் ஈச் செஷன் கொஸ்டின் செஷன்ஸ் இருக்குது. ஸோ யூ கேன் நீங்கள் கொஸ்டின் சேட்டில் கேட்கலாம், இல்லைனா யூ கேன் ரேஸ் யுவர் ஹேண்ட் அண்ட் யூ கேன் ஆஸ்க் யுவர் கொஸ்டின். அண்ட் ஆல்சோ அந்த எண்டில் ஒரு சர்ப்ரைஸ் இருக்குது. ஐ திங்க் சந்துரு he's going to give like a kind of trivia questions and he's going to offer like Amazon gift cards also. So watch the sessions clearly and stay till end of the session and get benefit. Thank you so much. அனைவரையும் நிகழ்ச்சிக்கு வருக என்று வரவேற்கின்றோம். கொலராடோ தமிழ் சங்கம் சார்பாக அனைவருக்கும் மதிய வணக்கம். நன்றி அபிராமி.
Thank you, Chitra, for the warm welcome. And now it is time to hand it over to our speakers for this afternoon. And I would like to introduce our speakers, Chandru Sundaresan and Srinivas Maram, over to the virtual stage. Over to you, Chandru and Srinivas.
ரொம்ப நன்றி அபிராமி அண்ட் சித்ரா. ஸோ எல்லோருக்கும் வணக்கம். இந்த வாய்ப்பை கொடுத்த தமிழ் அசோசியேஷனுக்கு ரொம்ப நன்றியை தெரிவித்துக் கொள்கிறேன். இந்த மதியத்தில் 20 பேருக்கு மேலாக எல்லாம் ஜாயின் பண்ணியிருக்கீங்க. ஸோ ஹோப்ஃபுல்லி இந்த செஷன் ரொம்ப யூஸ்ஃபுல்லாக இருக்கும்னு நான் நம்புகிறேன். ஸோ ஐ வாண்ட் டு இன்ட்ரடியூஸ் ஸ்ரீனிவாஸ் மாரம் as well. Please welcome Srinivas. Hello.
Chandru will lead the session. I'll be with Chandru. as needed.
Thank you, Srinivas. So without any delay, I will start sharing my screen, start presenting. Yes. So today I'll be covering 6 main topics. So what are the important things we can do while living, right? So I'll be covering mostly concepts only. So I will not be covering any products or solutions. These concepts will help each and every one of us. I strongly believe if you are able to take care of, each part, definitely you will be very successful. Also, you will be, you'll be protecting your family as well. The first topic I will talk about like how to build a strong financial house, right? And the second one is the college planning. The third one is the will and trust. So I already done the will and trust session earlier this year and also the life insurance session. So I'll be covering only at the very high level. So if you have any question, please hold off the question and then at the end of the session, we'll be able to answer. So the fourth topic is the tax saving strategy. So what are all the tax savings you could do? Tax is the biggest expenses, right? So you'll be able to learn. The fifth part is the lifetime income. So how do you get lifetime income while you're living, right? So you don't want to run out of money, especially in the late age. And we have an amazing other opportunity. Who are interested, want to do a business, want to make additional income, we have a great opportunity I will talk about at the end. So let's look at here, right? So what is that most important thing when it comes to building a house, right? It's a foundation. So without the foundation, the house may not last long. So likewise, in the financial industry, so we need to have a strong foundation. So these are the key pillars. So think about it like, let's say you have a money printing machine at your home, right? So it's keep on printing money. And then you are able to spend all the money. At some day, the machine breaks. So what happens? Right? So you have to find another way. So the question I want to ask, would you insure that machine? Think about it for a second. So you don't want that machine to be broken, right? So definitely you want to insure the machine. So think about you are the money printing machine, basically. So you are the breadwinner of the house. You are that money printing machine. So make sure that you are protecting yourself. Okay. So the family protection is not only just like, like insurance. It's about like many aspects. So make sure that you have like a proper health insurance and life insurance and will and trust. Okay. So we will talk more in detail. And the next step is make sure that you have all good loans. So when it comes to loans, right, it could be like a bad debt or good debt. So given an example of a good debt, right, it's like a house loan is a good debt. So on the other hand, car loan, credit card loan, so you can, pay it off as soon as possible since you don't want to pay more interest on that. And the next one is make sure that you have at least 6 months of, savings in your bank. This is for the emergency purpose. And when it comes to investment, right, there are like two different type of investments. One is a safe investment, another one is a risky. So all the safe investments, what that means is you don't lose your principal and growth. So wherever you are investing, you want to absolutely make sure that you don't want to lose your principal and growth some point. Yes, you have to do some risky investment as well. Make sure that you understand everything. So what I do is basically we help pretty much families. Make sure that they take care of their need. Right. So the next part I will talk about the X curve. So X curve is nothing but, so what are the protection you need in life? There are two parts to it. So what if, the question number one is what if dies too soon, right? The question number two, what if I live long? There are two parts here. So when you are young, right, there are more responsibility you will have. So when you are old, your responsibility would have come down. At the same time, your wealth would have gone up, right? So let's look at that left-hand side, right? So here, when you are young, obviously you will have young children, and then the high mortgage, and then the income, right? So you have to get a constant incomes. What if there is an interruption? So you have to address that as well. And you need to start saving for your kids' college, especially if you are having a young kids. So you have definitely more responsibility here. So any loss of income could be definitely devastating for the family. So it's very important to have a proper coverage. Make sure that you are protecting your family. So on the other end, so when you become older, right, definitely you will have more wealth. So what if you run out of your savings? So everyone saves in a multiple, vehicle. It could be 401k or IRA. So whatever that investment vehicle is, right? So you want to make sure that you have enough money. So while, during the retirement years. So can you really guarantee it, right? Can you guarantee you will be able to get the income during the retirement? And the third is, what if in between you are disabled? So how are you going to manage that? So what if you have a job, definitely you may have like insurance, like a disability insurance and all. What if there is no job? How are you going to manage that? And the fourth point I want to make is, so are you protecting your assets and your kids, basically? Kids are the most important assets of ours, right? You want to make sure that they are also protected in case of any unexpected situation. So I'll talk about the importance of the life insurance coverage, right? So how does it help? Simple life insurance, right? So in case of not able to work for some duration, for some kind of illness, critical chronic happens. So you'll be able to get money from the company. Let's say if the person is not there anymore, especially the breadwinner, there could be many expenses the family has to deal with. Could be education loan or debt or mortgage. There could be many. The list keep on going, right? So how do you going to manage, especially how your family wants to manage? So if the family has a proper coverage, so that shouldn't be problem at all. The company pays the beneficiary, they will be able to continue the same lifestyle. So when it comes to life insurance, is only like a two different type, right? One is a term life and the second one is a permanent life. Term life is temporary. So anyone can get anywhere between 10 to 35 years. It's always, the premium is lower when you're younger. The premium goes up as you age. And the benefit is, most cases, 100% tax-free, right? And so life insurance is not only just the death benefit, it comes with the living benefits as well. So anything that critical chronic happens, the company pays a lump sum. That will help the family. It's a big time. So the second is the permanent insurance, right? Permanent insurance covers for lifelong. Okay, and it has a cash value growth. And flexible on premium. So meaning the term insurance is premium is fixed, right? For the permanent insurance, they'll give you a range. You can pay the premium and more. So whatever the money you put in extra, it's going to get invested on the index funds. So there are many benefits. So usually why people do the permanent insurance, especially for the kids college planning, they can say put the money for 10 to 15 years. And whenever there's a money needed, they can withdraw tax-free. Or retirement planning, right? So you don't have to give reason to get that money from your cash value. It could be for anything. You can use it for a kid's college, especially. Okay. So another important aspect of the life insurance is the living benefits. So if you look at the numbers here, right, this is much it would cost. Let's say the person need to be at the nursing home. It's going to cost almost $100,000. So how you are going to take care of that, right? You have to ask yourself. So if you have a proper coverage, so you will be able to, get that benefit from the company. So yeah, so before going to the next topic, right? So I want to say, Srinivas, if you have any inputs, yeah, please do share.
So how much do you, hi, my name is Srinivas, just really quick. How much do you think is the cost of adult care if one of the people in the family, so typically, right, if one of us, if both are working, if one of us cannot work, the other person cannot stay home and take care of the person who needs help. We have to bring some professional. This is a general question. You can unmute and take a guess or post in chat. What do you think is the cost of private room? That was an example, but I can show you real data. What do you think is the cost of a private room or someone coming to take care of you? What would be the cost per year? Or if you like, per month also, I'm fine.
Feel free to type it in chat, or you can raise your hand and I'll unmute you.
Yes, yeah, you can type in chat. We want to make this interactive because it cannot be a radio show. And we don't have the music to keep you awake.
So Chitra says 5,000.
Okay, very.
Any more answers from the audience? I don't know his name, but iPhone says close to 25,000 per month.
3,500.
Anybody says 3,500. Do we have any more answers from the audience?
Okay.
Okay, I think those are the answers we have for now.
Can I share screen for 1 second?
Yes, please. Yeah.
Sure.
Give me 1 second. You can see this. This is the data I pulled up. And 2021, you can see 2020.
Yeah.
2023, it's 127,000 per year. So what Chandru was saying was, and this is live data, this is not recorded. And most of you are young, not my age, I'm guessing. So all of you young people, whenever you need it in the future, if you just put this further away, this is the kind of money we need at least 10 years later with the current inflation and all the complicated stuff going on. This is how much you need per year. And like we talked monthly, 13,000 a month. Okay. And even if you, so the point is, we don't want to empty our savings from your life's work for one thing. And then what do? You run out of money and then go back. Nobody wants to hire old people anymore. Sorry to say that, but everyone wants younger, brighter, cheaper, faster. So how do you replenish the account? So if you have one solution that can take off the risk, it's less strain on the people that rely on you. And that is the concept Chandru is trying to say in so many ways. Like the typical thing is to start early, transfer the risk, so the family has less burden. And the income replacement is if one person is not okay, the other person generally cannot perform well at work. So you need to have money in the account, the family can live on the interest. And that is one of the things Dime he was talking about. So please ask questions. I don't mean to interrupt the presentation, but just wanted to show you, you can go to genworth.com, put in the numbers. I put Denver, Colorado. If more specific, you can put it. And these are the costs that we should plan not to touch our savings. Okay, these are long-term care. We have people who have seen careers. We have a professor who can speak for this if I'm wrong, an expert on the call. So, sir, you can also share if you think any of this data is not accurate. But this is something we pulled out from the website, long-term care website. So the correct answer is close to 11,600. All right, Chandru, please take it away.
Sure, yeah. Thanks, Srinivas, for the information. So let me. So the next topic I want to cover a kids' college planning. Okay. So this is the budget actually for 2022-23, and this is how much it would cost. So basically, there are like many ways kids goes to college, right? Many different colleges. So if the kid is going to like a community college, like a near university, right? So it's going to cost close to $20,000. So that will cover the tuition fees, room and board, books and supply, transportation, or any other expenses. That's per year. So if you are planning to send your kids like an in-state college, then it's going to be $27,000. So let's look at that out of state. It's going to be $45,000. And so if you're going to send your kid to like a private college, it's going to be in a double, like a $57,000. This is per year, right? So think about it. Let's pay, especially if you are having a young kid and you have like another 10 years, another 15 years for your kids to go to college. Definitely the money is, you need more money. It could be way more than this, right? So you want to plan for that, especially. So if you look at this slide, right? So in 1992, if it's going to cost like a $20,000, $21,000 for a private college, now it will be like literally doubled, $40,000. So if you look at the past 20, 30-year history, the inflation is slowly growing. But in recent years, you may know, right? The inflation is growing like anything. So after like 15 years, it could double. So you want to basically make sure that if you are planning to pay for your kids' college education, right, you have to plan well in advance. So let's look at what are the common option, right? So 529 plan is everyone well aware of that. It's a tax advantaged plan. Most of the states offer it. You can get like a prepaid plan, or you can get like a specific state college fund, things like that. So pretty much all the states are offering the 529 plan, right? So if you look at that, what are the advantages and disadvantages having a 529 plan? It's a good savings habit. There is no doubt about it. And the growth is tax-free. And it can be used for only college. So let's say if you want to use that money for a different purpose, yes, there will be implications, tax implications, as well as the penalty. So it helps reduce the student debt. So on the disadvantage side, right, there is always a market risk. So the money you put in on the 529 account, it gets invested, right, in the stock market funds. So it could go or it could go down, go up or go down. And the investment options are depends on the what kind of 529 plan you signed up for. So if you are going to use that money for something else, as I mentioned before, tax and penalty, so you have to take care of it. And when you are applying, scholarship for a kid, so you have to mention, so what is how much money you have in the 529 plan. So the scholarship depends on that, right? And what if, think about a scenario, what if the main breadwinner is not there anymore? Something unexpected happens. How the family is going to take care of this, continually paying that funding? Is that really possible? Maybe not. Maybe if both are working, definitely in that case, the spouse will be able to take care of it, right? So what do we really need in a college plan, right? So we don't want really any market risk. And so any growth, so it has to be tax-free. Also, you should be able to withdraw for any purpose, not only just for the education. So there shouldn't be any penalties or withdrawal, and it should not affect the scholarship eligibility. Can be used for any college, right? So some of the features here listed here, it's not available in the 529 plan. So there are other plans we provide, even past a few years, right? So our team especially helped many families with alternative plan. So this plan, what it does is, it's a flexible deposit. So you are not obligated to put the same money every month. and it guarantees, your principal and growth. There won't be any loss. So regardless of how the fund is used, it's always a tax-free. So it has like many features. There is no penalty, and it does not affect the scholarship, so etc. So these kind of solutions we provide, basically. We helped many families in the past. To know about how it works, definitely we can set up a separate time, and then we'll be able to help you. Okay. Srinivas, do you want to add anything on the college plan?
Yeah. So any questions on what we covered on the college plan? So 529 is by far the most famous thing. Most of us get into 529, and 529 is really fantastic if you are a market investor. I mean, some people are so busy at work, and these days with all the automated bot tradings and all, you see dramatic downfall. Unlike in the past, now you see 1,000 points market falling in the same day. So if things like that happen, 529 is literally open for risk. So we want, and as you know, as you come closer to the college age, if you convert everything into money market, then you're losing to inflation, because the last few years inflation has been so bad. So there has to be some kind of a balance. And also, like Chandru was saying, the importance of life insurance. If you go back to the dime formula, can you go back to the dime formula, Chandru? Previous slides, just go back. Yeah, this one. So if you see this one, right? So the first red here on the first one, law of decreasing responsibility. As the responsibility goes down, here, this is where, this term insurance or whatever he was saying, this can also be your college plan. So the most important thing for any parent to pay for a kid's college is they have to be there. If the parent is there, then 99.9% will make it happen. So this is one way of making sure the children go to college also, right? And the other thing he was talking about, long-term care, for all those things that happen in the second part of life, we need to start young. We need to start, today is the youngest we can ever be. So start today. Start today, and power of compounding, and with the guaranteed no loss, you can build something for future. And these solutions that Chandru is sharing, they have living benefits, long-term care, the costs we talked about, they come from the policy itself. So that way you don't have to touch your nest egg to take care of these situations. Any questions on the college stuff? Sorry, I didn't see.
We have one question. Is it okay to start when the kid goes to high school?
How can I answer this? The fundamental thing for any money growth is time. At the end of the day, you can only do so much magic. And as the kid comes closer to college, the less risk we can take. Because whatever you have, you still have to protect that. So we can start, but you have to fund a lot. Because, honestly, we are not magicians. We are just a normal people. And if we were that good, we wouldn't be here. If we could print money like that. But yes, you can start, but you need to fund. You need to catch up for the time we did not.
Thanks, Srinivas. Does anyone else have any other questions?
Cool.
I think we can go ahead.
Putting people after lunch.
Okay, Abhirami, is the college planning session over, or are we moving to next
Yes.
topic? Okay, so maybe Chandru, Pandian sir, maybe he wants to say a few words about the college planning.
Sure, Chitra. Yeah, so he's welcome to say.
Sorry, it's unplanned.
Do you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay. I don't know whether I have anything to add to this college planning, but make some general observations. Their slides were correct in terms of community colleges or private colleges or large universities, public universities. They're all the tuition and the board and everything. They're all very different. That's true. What I will say perhaps will be may have a kind of conflict with the presentation, because I will ask my colleagues and all our friends and others not to stress too much about this. That's a very, very different kind of advice I'm giving. Abhirami asked the question whether could we start when the kids are in the college and high school. My sense is this: don't start with the assumption about which area of education is the cheapest one. Community college is the cheapest, or there may be public universities less expensive than others. I would rather go the other way around. Ask ourselves, we know our own children, how good they are, where do they fit in. They may fit in Harvard or Yale or the top class universities in the universe, and that might cost thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. I will not. I will ask my colleagues not to stress out too much on that. Prepare your sons and daughters. There's one aspect we don't talk about this. I don't think they have mentioned anywhere. Typical parents from India, we take care of our children. On day one, high school, college, graduate program, everything we pay from our own savings. That's totally not the case in America. I'm talking about white American citizens. The way they do that is the time 18 comes, they are throwing their children out. They're on their own. When they go to college, the mostly preferred way they fund their college education is through student loan. We should not ignore that aspect. It's not in our blood. We don't do that. We don't want to borrow loan for our children because we will take everything upon ourselves. We would like to pay for it. We will work for it. We will struggle for it. No way my children should be borrowing loan. But that's we should ignore that aspect of that. I mean, we should be prepared to engage in that conversation because the loan system is there always. There's something should be remembered in our mind. So your presentations are all correct. My only advice to my colleagues, my friends and others is that not to stress out too much, but focus on what kind of children we have and where do they want to go, where do they fit in, and accordingly we should push them in. And then, as I said, I'm not talking about borrowing loan as a vehicle, but that should not be ignored. And you may not know this, but every time, every college, for example, one college might say that tuition is $40,000 and room and board is this. But if you go deeper into that, what they announce is the kind of ticket price. What we actually have or what we end up with, probably not 40,000, might be 15,000 or 16,000 or 10,000, depending upon children performance and everything. So there are a lot of ways we can cut it. I mean, this is not the time to talk about all those things, but now that Chitra asked me to say a few words, that's a kind of broader general comment I would like to make. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you, sir. We have a few more questions from the audience. Would you like to take them now, Chandru, before we move ahead?
Sure.
Yes. So the first question is from Jayashree. Whose retirement can be used as tax-free income stream? I think she means like the husband or the wife, I guess. So the question is whose retirement it can be used as a tax-free income stream?
Well, yeah, it's a good question. So basically, husband and a wife or both. So their retirement plan, if they plan it well, they can get a tax-free income during retirement.
Okay. We have a question from Anu. 529 offers a full or partial tax deduction, which can reduce taxable income. Are alternatives tax deductible?
Okay. So first of all, when it comes to tax, right? So it's always best to consult with the CPA, right? So because we are not a tax professional, But one thing I can say is the solution we offer, we helped many people in the past, right? So those solutions, there is no tax obligation, meaning whenever the money is withdrawn from that account, there is no tax. They don't have to pay it.
I don't think 529 reduces taxable income. 529 is after tax. The growth is tax. Okay, growth is tax free. But we'll cover. Yeah, talk to a tax expert.
And the last question we have is, please provide the details about college planning. Suchitra, do you mean the slides?
Yeah, maybe like if Chandra can provide the details via email, so that if anyone wants to register or start planning ahead, so that would be useful to our
Yes,
members.
Chitra. So the way it works is we need to connect with them basically. They can set up an appointment with us so that we can, because the individual need is different. So everyone is different. So we need to have more information basically. So where they are at in the financial, area. So based on that, we can provide a tailored solution for them.
Thank you so much, Chandra.
We can do Zoom or we can do in person. In person is always more effective. So we can come to their home and meet them personally and provide the solution.
Thank you. That's the questions in the chat so far. I think we can move ahead.
Sure. Okay. Thank you, Pandian sir, for your input.
Most welcome.
So the next topic we want to discuss about the will and trust, right? So I already taken a detailed session like a few months back. It's already in the YouTube channel, right? So I'll cover at the basics, right? So will and trust is another thing. A lot of people don't have it. So they think they can procrastinate on that, right? So these are the questions you should be asking basically. So without the proper planning, what happens? You can ask yourself, is your kids protected? Is your assets protected? Something unexpected happens, both the parents, worst case scenario, or one of the parent, right? So who is going to take care of the children? In that worst case, what happens is, the state will come in. So every state has a laws on different. So the family has to go through the probate court process. So at this point, it's kind of out of our hand, basically, right? So when you done a proper will and trust, especially when your kid turning into 18, right? So do you want to give all the assets and everything to your kid? So she or he may not have that maturity, may spend all that money, right? We don't know that. So you can, if you do the will and trust, right, you can say in the will, who gets your home, who gets your bank account, what are the assets you have, you can list them everything clearly. So in past few years, we helped, especially our team helped literally hundreds of people. So even like 2 weeks back, I had a workshop session in a laundry. There are many people came down there and we helped them to complete their end-to-end process, right? So you have to take action basically. So that's the only thing I would say. So what I do is we help with the online solution basically. So all the documents are written by the lawyers. So we are not responsible for the document perspective, but what we are doing this, we help them set up an account and have them to complete the documents. So if they are local and people will be able to do the notarization. Otherwise, the notarization can be done any notary public. So as you can look at here, right, these are the important documents everyone should have. The will, and then the living trust that avoids the court process basically. And then the power of attorney, the financial power of attorney. So you will designate who can be that, who you can give the power to. They can take a decision basically. So when it comes to healthcare, right, what if the person is not able to make decision on his or her own? So who can make a decision, right? At the same point, who can get access to the medical records? So these are the important documents you have to have. So we provide a solution. It's all online. So you'll have a lifetime access, right? So also another thing I want to mention here is it's not only one time thing, right? So it's like during the lifetime, you may be able to, you should be able to update the will and trust. Any life-changing event, for example, having a newborn baby, or worst case scenario, I don't know, remarried or whatever it is, right? Or moving out of state. That's another thing, good example, right? So you may have to do the same process again because the state law differs from state to state, right? So when it comes to process, right, it's like a 3-step, you have to do it. So first to complete the process, meaning generate all the documents. So usually it's like a 12 to 14 sets of documents. So it depends on the state. So once you have all the documents ready and get it notarized by a notary public. Okay. The third important step is funding the trust. Funding the trust itself is a bigger topic. Maybe we will have a conversation in some other day. So the primary purpose of funding the trust is the avoiding the court process, basically. So family don't have to, go to the court to get that, custody of the children or custody of some bank accounts or whatever it may be. Okay. So yeah, so maybe we can hold on to the will and trust questions later, I would say, later in the sense after the session is over. So I will cover one more topics and then we will do some fun quiz.
Sure.
But do you want to add anything or are you good, Des?
I'm good, Chandu.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, the next topics I want to cover the tax saving strategies, basically. So how do you save the taxes, right? So if you look at the past 100-year history, we are at the lowest tax bracket, one of the lowest tax bracket still. So if you look at the back in 60s and 70s, we are on the almost 70 to 60% tax. So what do you think the tax is going to happen when you happen to withdraw, when you happen to, retire? So do you think the taxes will be the same or do you think the taxes will be more? Right. So these are the questions we should ask ourselves. So this is kind of a concept, basically. It's called a rule of 72. Some of you may heard of it or maybe not. So the rule of 72 is nothing but all it tells is how long the money, takes to double, right? So that's based on the growth. Let's say you have $100,000. You are investing at the age of 29 and you are getting a 2% interest on that. So it's going to take 36 years for that money to double. So it will double by the age of 65 when you reach. So at the same time, let's say you are getting 4% growth on the money you invested. So it will take only 18 years for the money to double. So at the age of 47, it will become 200 and then 65, it will become 400. So let's say the money is growing at the 8% return, right? What happens? Then it's going to take only 9 years for your money to double. So ideally speaking, so whatever the investment vehicle you are doing, so you have to get a minimum 6% or above, I would say. Inflation itself like a 3 to 4%. So you have to beat that inflation, right? So another thing is, so wherever you are investing, right, make sure that your principal and growth is protected. So you don't want to, lose the money, especially. The another thing is you can diversify your investments. I'm sure the most of the companies offer like a 401k, right? 401k is not like there is no guarantee for the loss. In case of any downturn, obviously it's going to take down the value. So we provide a solution using index contract. So let's just look at what this is, right? So let's say if you invest $100,000, like back in 97, right? Let's consider you are investing in a stock market. I'm sure people who are in this country for 20 plus years definitely may remember the recession back in 2001 and 2002, right? So we had another down market in 2008. So when you invested 100,000, it would have become 93 during the recession downturn. And in 2008 again, it came back to 109. And even, during the COVID time, we had a market correction. So we really cannot really guarantee that stock market next year. So it could go up, it could go down. It's all depends, right? So at the same time, let's just assume you are investing on an indexed contract. So what happens here, right? So in case of any market correction, basically you are locking your growth and principal basically. So the 124,000 is going to be get locked during the downturn. It will be 124. So whenever the market goes up, it's going to keep growing. Same thing is going to happen. Look at this, 2007 and 8. When the stock about during the downturn, it's the same. The money is same. You are not losing not even a single dollar. So eventually it will outperform the market. Okay. So you want to, what I'm trying to say is you want to diversify your investments. So in the past, we helped many clients actually to invest on index funds, especially indexed contracts. Okay. So let's look at that tax-free. How do you get a tax-free retirement, right? So if you have like a 401k, that's a very common retirement account, and IRA. So the money you are putting in these accounts is a pre-tax dollars. It's not taxed right now, right? Basically, it's a tax-deferred growth. So when you happen to withdraw, so you will be able to, you have to pay taxes. So what happens if you want to withdraw early? There is a 10% penalty on the withdrawal. So you may or may not know about the RMD. RMD is nothing but required minimum distribution. So at the age of 72, you have to withdraw the money. Otherwise, there will be a 50% excise tax, basically. Okay. So you have to pay taxes when you happen to withdraw the money. So there is no way around it. Right? With considering all that country debt and the inflation, so what do you think the tax is going to be, right, during your retirement years? There is a highly likely the taxes will be more. So on the other hand, what if you have like a tax advantaged account? Let's say you are putting some money, diversifying into different bucket basically. So we are not saying you put everything in the tax advantage bucket. You can diversify basically, right? So whatever the money you are putting in, you are putting basically after tax dollars. And here, there is no restriction like 401k bucket basically. There is no contribution limit, and there is no penalty when you happen to withdraw. And when you happen to withdraw, you don't have to pay any taxes. And it's not going to affect your social security. Okay. So yeah, Srinivasa, feel free to add any points you may have. Then we can move on to the quiz.
No, all we are trying to say is diversify your portfolio. And 401k looks very good, but we all have to realize that 401k will be taxed. And because we are in the lowest tax bracket, so tomorrow when you plan to take the money out with the current national debt, it may not be the best thing. So when you're ready to take your money out, if the tax rates change because of the current national debt, it may not be the best thing. And also 401k money is in the market. So a lot of times what happens is you do well and then one correction. So someone having $1 million portfolio, you lose 30%. And to get it back, okay, let me ask you a question. You can type. So someone has $1 million portfolio. They had a 30% loss. Okay, one-day trade, 30% loss. What percentage do you need to bring it back to the previous number? People like to type. So $1 million portfolio had a 30% loss. What percentage of growth do you need to catch up to bring the portfolio back to 1,000?
We have an answer from Venu as 42.
Yeah.
And
40.
Venkat has approximately 40%. So is 40 the right answer?
Yeah, it's close to 40 plus 42.
Okay. So
Because, yeah, so you are working with less money. So on $1 million, you lost 30%. Now you're working on 700. You need a bigger percentage to catch up. So as you get older, a loss can hit you harder. So you need to have a portfolio where you can take, first thing is to diversify. Nobody has the crystal ball. So the best solution is to diversify. You need to take advantage of all these solutions. Tax advantaged, tax deferred. So all we are trying to tell you is, again, go back to diversification. And diversification doesn't mean only equities. It could be real estate. It could be, anything you want. Just put it in different buckets. And make sure you are protected from some losses. The index contract is a great concept. We can explain to you separately. But again, diversification is what we really push you for. That's all, Chandra.
Thank you, Srinivas. There is another question in the chat, so let me read it. It's about a 401k. Is there will be a tax even if we wait till the retirement? Absolutely. Yes, you have to pay the taxes.
So this was one of the questions I wanted to put it on the poll for fun. A lot of people think 401k means no tax forever. So I'll tell you in my sarcastic way, hopefully you're not offended. So government is investing in you for their taxes. 401k means you are an investment vehicle for the government. So all you're doing is you're waiving tax on the seed and paying tax on the crop. So you're deferring tax in a lower tax bracket day. You're deferring tax, and then when you're ready for retirement, the way the deficit is growing and all that, somehow the funds have to be paid. If I'm living in a house with a $3 million credit card debt, it cannot go on. It will catch up. So where will the money come from? The future taxes. Just like they raise the current Wall Street index rate, they will raise the taxes to pay for this debt. So when you're ready to take the money out, the tax go up. So the key is to take advantage of all these tax buckets so that a lot of people believe that 401k is the best thing. I am not a huge believer in that. I only believe in taking advantage of the employee match. Anything more than that, I would rather do other things today. It's my personal opinion. Any questions? Yes, we are ready, but if not, continue. Thank you, Chandra.
That's some great point, Srinivas. Yeah, thank you. Okay. So next, let's make it a little fun. So we have a few trivia questions comes up, right? The question is going to come up. So you have like 20 seconds to answer. Whoever put the answer in the chat wins, basically.
Including the host.
Yeah.
Including MC is also in.
okay.
Yeah. So whoever put the chat, anyway, so I will, after that, all we need a email ID. So I'll send that Amazon gift card for $10. All right. Okay. And no one gets that answer. And then in that case, whoever is closest answer, we can take it.
Sure.
Sounds good?
One good question, actually. The trivia questions, is it based on your presentation?
Well, it is, but I would say not. The answer is not exactly there. Yeah. So some of them could be general knowledge, actually. So this is just to take, how much everyone having like a financial knowledge, right? Yeah. Okay. Let's go here. Yeah, Brahmi, please start that time.
First question is, what percentage of Americans do not have a will? The time starts now. Please type your answer in the chat. Okay, we have a lot of answers coming. But I'm just going to wait till 20 seconds get over. Okay, time's up. We have a lot of answers in the chat.
Sure. So it's actually 67%. I see Venkat is the one, got the closest is 66. Venkat, you are the winner. So Venkat, please put your email ID in the chat so that we can capture and send you the gift card. Yeah.
Yeah, I think we can move on to the next question. I'll make a note of the email IDs.
Okay. Thank you, Abhirami. Okay. So the next question is, yeah, please go ahead.
Retail industry is 24 trillion. Real estate is 32 trillion. How much is financial industry? And your time starts now. Please type in your answers in chat.
In trillions.
In trillions. Okay. Okay, time's up. Okay, last two came really, let's allow them. It's okay.
Yeah, right. Felt like 10 seconds.
Yeah. So we have many answers on chat. 44, 70, 60. And what's the right answer?
Believe it or not, it's 109 trillion.
109.
So that's one of the biggest industry in the US.
70 is the closest we have. So
exactly. So again, Venkat won it.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Venkat, you seem to be really good at finance.
Yeah, must be. Yeah. We need to talk to him.
We have 90 from Satish.
We have?
Oh, no. Okay. That's
It's a
previous.
50.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. So let's move on to the next question, Brahmi.
What is the biggest expense on your paycheck? And your time starts now. A lot of taxes, mortgage, rent, Fed tax, home mortgage. Time's up. And the right answer is taxes.
It's taxes. I know the yes is cutting off. So I see Rajesh Rajaraman. So he said the taxes.
Yeah,
So
he
Rajesh
said taxes
Rajaraman,
first.
please put your email ID in the chat. I think we can move on.
Yeah, we can move on. I think it's putting it on chat. Yeah, we have the email ID. The fourth question is, what percent of Americans do not have individual life insurance?
So this question includes all the demography, by the way.
Time's up. So, and the right answer is 45. So we have Lavanya who has the 41. Yeah. And we have a 50. Do we have any other numbers? Yeah, so I think Lavanya wins this.
Okay.
Closest. Lavanya, please share your email ID on the chat. I think we can move on to the next question. The last question. A common guideline for how much life insurance coverage you should get is, and the time starts now. 3 times your annual salary.
This was from the presentation. Hint, hint, hint.
Time's up.
All right.
10 times. We have Mati who said 10. with Rajesh said 10 and first and the right answer. So Rajesh wins this. Please share your email ID in the chat.
He is winning second time here.
Okay, so maybe we could give it to Mati.
Yeah, that would be good.
Okay, so Mati, please go ahead and share your email ID in the chat.
I think that's all I have for the quiz.
Thank you, Chandru. It was fun to play this quiz.
Sure. So I do have another maybe 5 to 7 minutes of talk, and then we can open up for all questions. So the next topics I want to cover is a high level, how do we get a lifetime income, right? So what are all the investment vehicle you can invest today so that when you retire, you can get a lifetime income? Does the 401k guarantees that lifetime income? You guys ask yourself. Let's say when you happen to retire, you have let's say $500,000. Is it guaranteed the $500,000 is going to be, there until it passes away, especially, right? So especially with all the medical advancements these days, people tend to live longer. So the money saved for the retirement may not be enough. So it will run out. So as you withdraw, and then tax is going to be the biggest thing. You have to pay taxes on it, right? Okay. So what do we know about the retirement, right? Definitely life expectancies keep on going up. So it used to be like 85, 87. It just keep on going up with all the medical advancements. So I wouldn't be surprised if someone, more people, more of us live until 100, right? And another thing is the inflation. So today it may cost, a gallon of milk would cost like $4. After 15 years could be $8 or $10. So are we going to have the enough money to live through the retirement? The third thing is the taxes. Tax is going to be the biggest expenses, believe it or not, right? During the retirement years, you have to pay taxes and everything, especially, you're putting more money, right? If you're maximizing your 401k, what happens is, right? You're putting like $22,000 a year, something like that. So you have to pay taxes, what are the money you withdraw. So some of the things we don't know, especially Social Security, even, the government saying at the end of 2034, the trust fund may disappear. So we may or not get the, same amount of Social Security we expect to get. We don't know that, how the government is going to handle. So we are putting on the government hands, right? So we don't have any control over it. So even inflation and tax rates, we have no idea what the tax rate is going to be after like 15, 20 years. Next comes to the stock market. So this year may be good. Can we guarantee the same level of, stock market growth next year? Not right. So if you look at that the next 20 years, how is the stock market going to perform? We don't know that. There are so many unknowns, right? So this is the important time, especially you want to diversify, as Steve was mentioned earlier, right? You want to diversify your investments so that you can get some portion of the money from the tax-free bucket. So you don't have to worry about the taxes. You don't have to worry about losses, especially in case of, financial market downturn. So in those situations, it helps investing on the contract like index contracts. Yeah, so that's all I want to cover on this topic actually. And then, so yeah, the next section, what I have here is, let's say even like 5 years ago, Srinivas presented me this opportunity actually. Even I've been in the IT for a long time, since like 97. I came across this opportunity through Srinivas. Without Srinivas introducing me, I wouldn't be here sitting and talking to you all. So I'm always grateful for that, right? So if you are any of you in this call looking to make like additional income, right? This is we have a great opportunity actually. So you can educate yourself. You will have an opportunity to educate others as well. So at the same time, you can make money. How does that sound? So if you, let's say you want to start like a restaurant business or any other business, think about how much money you want to invest, right? It could be hundreds or thousands of dollars. So in this business, right, you don't have to invest that much. As long as you have a right mindset and make a time commitment, that's all needed actually. So if you look at here, right, so most people, the job is the important. I totally agree. There's nothing wrong with having a job. At the same time, if you have a job, it's more security, right? But even there is not really guaranteed. Job is not guaranteed. Today I'm here with the one company. There is no guarantee I'll be here, for long enough. You may have heard this year, so many companies laid off people. Many companies, right? So if you are self-employed, you want the job, basically. So if you look at the wealth perspective, right, so the most wealth accumulated by the business owners. 90% of the wealth owned by the business owners, not by the people who are owning a job. So if you are getting like 100K or 200K, it's not going to change much, right? So you may get like a 5% rise or 3% rise, whatever the rise may be. You are constantly growing very slow. At the same time, if you are doing a business, you think about the potential basically. So you will be able to free yourself. So we already talked about this, right? So financial service industry is the biggest industry, right? So yeah, think about it. So anyone interested, want to make additional income, additional career, or willing to put some effort. So this is a perfect industry, basically. So that's all I want to say. Yeah, Srinivasa, feel free to add anything. So I'm pretty much done with my presentation here. Yeah.
Can you go back to the lifetime income? Because I really connect to that. Just a few more slides. Yeah, go back one more, I think. Oh, sorry. Yeah, just the next one is fine. So lifetime income, how many of you, to me, this is by far, like we do a lot of things. And people are working till 67 now to get into the government benefits. And if you have always worried about money and calculation, do you think you will spend after that age? We never got into the habit of spending. Suddenly, when there is no income coming, will you spend? And Social Security, we call it so-so security. It's not real security, it is so-so. So now, what is it that you really rely on? So we have solutions that guarantee lifetime income, which is what a 401k or an IRA, previous employer 401k, we call it IRA. So that the purpose of that money is to give you lifetime income. So we work with large companies who have lifetime income options, increasing lifetime income using those index contracts. So these are very, very interesting topics. The more interest there is, we are also motivated to explain to you in the future, but we also don't want to just take up your precious Sunday. So when you are interested, this is a very important thing everybody should have, especially if you are used to being an employee, like my dad, right? Right now, the only thing that gives him security is his pension. And typically, American companies, unless you work in the post office or one of those things, there is no pension plans. So we need to think of these guaranteed lifetime income options. So any questions? And also these solutions, they also provide accelerated benefits in the sense, if you have any chronic critical terminal injuries or issues, they pay double the lifetime income. There's so many solutions like that. So we can cover this in the future, or whoever reaches out, we can explain to them one-on-one. And going to the business, this land is for business people, if you think about it. America is a land for entrepreneurs. This system, the tax benefits, the whole system is set up for an entrepreneur. If you are an employee, your employer is the one benefiting from it. Like there are these days is a game of all these quotes and great sayings on reels and everything, right? You see that? Hey, if you work hard enough, next year I'll buy a better car, the boss will say. So we should, and this is the only way to catch up. Like Chandru was saying, you got 3% raise, 5% raise. Is it really catching up to inflation? Last year, real inflation was 30%. All the papers were saying 5, 7 and all that said. The real inflation is 30%. How do you catch up? Your employer is not going to pay you. Employer always wants to pay minimum so that you can come back to work tomorrow. And there is a false sense of security because it's all about younger, brighter, cheaper, faster. Like your kids will be your competition. I mean, the moment your kids come to the same job as you, they'll fire you. Right? Kids are so fast, super fast brains. And they think in English. So we think in our language and translate blah, blah, blah in the heads. So you are always facing a competition. So how do you bridge the gap? You have to build a business. And people say, oh, I don't like to talk to people. People are everything. The whole world is people. If you avoid people, you don't get food on the table. So we need to accept that. And this is an excellent industry to be part of. As we get older, we get more value in the money business. You see your life, your children. And this business does not involve any money transfer. So you don't go collect checks, none of that. This is like a realtor in the financial industry. You are a subject matter expert. You talk to people, you give ideas, you don't give advice. You show them multiple options and people pick the option they choose, and your compensation is done by the company. So there is no change in money change. Money changing hands is very difficult. And one of the other things, like Chandra was saying, you start any business, the biggest problem is mentorship. We don't know what to do. And as an employee, we expect predictable results. In real life, there is nothing called predictable results. So here you have mentorship, you have support, and it's an amazing industry and it's fantastic. I mean, you'll see real money. That's all I can tell you.
Thank you, Chandra and Srinivas, for this wonderful session. I'm sure we learned a lot about finance today. If there are any questions, please post it in the chat, or if you want to unmute and ask, please raise your hand. Now is the time for questions. Any questions regarding the overall session, any topic you have in mind? Sure, Sundaram. We'll be sharing the recording and we'll be also uploading it to YouTube. Any other questions from the audience?
I think we confused them thoroughly. Good job to both.
You talked about the business pati பேசுனீங்களே, like in any business is okay வா, இல்ல இந்த மாதிரி like will interest or financial advising அந்த மாதிரி business எந்த மாதிரி சொல்றீங்க?
இல்ல, business is in the financial service industry. Okay. So the same business as what we do, basically.
Yeah, okay.
So if anyone interested, they can set up a time with us. We will explain and how it works.
Okay.
So if they want to do it, yes, they can be part of our team. So we are doing as a team business, basically. Even some of our team members here. This call.
Yeah, apart from business, actually, you're spreading the awareness actually to the community. So really a good opportunity for the community to learn and invest.
That's correct, Chitra. So we don't have many people, especially, going out there and educating others. So we need many professionals, especially I've been coming to Denver past 4 years, actually. So I've been seeing that big gap. So if we have more people like us, right, that will give a chance to help wide, variety of people and many more. So that's an idea.
Any other questions from the audience? Okay, I don't see any other questions coming up. Can wait for a minute or two if anybody wants to ask. Feel free to ask in Tamil also, no problem. Okay, looks like we do not have any more questions this afternoon. So thank you so much. This was a very great session. and highly impactful session. I definitely learned a lot from today's session about finance, and I'm sure the audience did too. I would like to thank the speakers of today, Chandru Sundaresan and Srini Maram, for their valuable Sunday afternoon time. I would also like to thank all the committee members in the event to coordinate Pani, emails anupi, for doing all the marketing and emailing. Thank you to all the committee members. And most importantly, எல்லா ஆடியன்ஸ்க்கு ஒரு பெரிய தேங்க்ஸ், because it's a Sunday afternoon தூங்குற time, but you've joined to learn something which is going to be valuable for you உங்க whole lifetime. So thank you so much for all the audience who's going to be who joined us today. Chandru, if you can share the screen with respect to your contact details.
Sure.
Please take a note of Chandru's contact details, and you can reach out to him after today's session. Like he said, for any financial advice, as well as if you want to start a financial business. So feel free to make a note of this, and you can reach out to him after the session. Thanks again, and have a great afternoon. I would like to open it up for an informal chat if anybody has any questions. I'll go ahead and unmute, or any comments. I'll go ahead and unmute everyone.
Thank you, Chandru and Srinivasan, for the wonderful presentation. I'm sure it will be really useful to our members.
Thank you so much for Tamil Colorado Association for arranging this session.
Thank you, Chandru.
I think everyone wants to be quiet.
Yeah. I've unmuted most of you. So yeah, feel free, any comments, leaving notes, and have a great afternoon and rest of the day.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone. I'm going to stop the recording.
All right.